OK, let's move to Europe now, where an early summer heatwave has hammered parts of the continent, forcing the closure of schools and tourist sites. Temperatures in Portugal topped 46 degrees Celsius. That's 115 in Fahrenheit. Meteorologists say the heat is exceptional for this time of year and comes as Europe heats at twice the global average speed.
The summer sun rises over Paris. Beautiful to look at, but as dawn breaks on the hottest day of the year so far, it's getting hard to bear.
I feel like going inside the fridge or even the freezer.
16 regions across France, including the capital, are on red alert. Hundreds of schools across the country have also been shut. Tourists and locals are struggling to cope.
We are just tourists here, but people that are in the city, living in the city here, and I believe that the city was built more for not to deal with this amount of heat, so it's intense.
Under such sizzling heat, a symbol of the city, the Eiffel Tower, was closed to visitors. And it's not only France. An early summer heatwave is creeping across the continent. Italy has issued heatwave red alerts up and down the country and banned outdoor work during the hottest hours. In Germany, the River Rhine is at unusually low levels for this time of year. As a major shipping route, it's causing concerns about the economic consequences of such extreme heat. Last month was the hottest June on record for many parts of Europe. Temperatures in the Spanish capital, Madrid, hit the upper 40s.
Today's very bad, but yesterday wasn't any better either. So we're just surviving, nothing more. It's hard to sleep.
England has seen its hottest day so far this year, with some areas experiencing the second heatwave in the last month. Scientists say the extreme temperatures are being caused by a heat dome.
These weather patterns, this heat dome, the waving in the jet stream are things that we've seen before. With climate change, though, we've turned that thermostat, that background temperature up a notch or two. So when we get these weather patterns, one, they tend to happen more often, they're more persistent when they happen, and they're more intense. So we get higher temperatures.
Experts say the world needs to urgently reduce greenhouse gas emissions as frequent weather events become the new normal.
OK, let's bring in meteorologist Matthew Cappucci. How unusual is Europe's heat wave this early in the summer?
Well, it's summertime. Summertime is always hot, especially this time of year. But that said, as your story mentioned, this is something exceptional. We're sort of up towards the upper end of heat wave events. In fact, Spain and Europe just wrapped up their hottest Junes on record, with temperatures similar to what we'd see deeper into July. So we're kind of always nudging up our temperatures a little bit more. The top of the Eiffel Tower has been shut down temporarily given the heat, and water temperatures in the Mediterranean are running 6 to as much as 9 degrees Celsius above average. So this isn't just typical summertime heat. This is something a little bit extra, and this fits into a pattern of warming heat extremes that, of course, mirrors human-induced climate change.
Yeah, to what extent is this all caused by climate change with temperatures? We seem to break them year on year, these record temperatures.
We do seem to break these every single year. And in fact, you're exactly right. The hot gets hotter and the cold gets a little bit less cold. Now, I always tell folks, records are not caused by climate change alone because, of course, it is summertime and it should be hot in the summertime. But what we're noticing is the scale is sort of tipping in the direction of heat extremes. It's like if I was playing basketball, for example, and I was to get a slam dunk. That might happen once in a great while. But let's say I raised the floor by 30 centimeters, then suddenly it would be a lot easier to get slam dunks. We're constantly raising the background state of the Earth's environment, and so heat extremes are a little bit more extreme, and the cold extremes are just not quite as bad. Now, that said, if you average things out, more people still die in Europe and Asia thanks to extreme cold than extreme heat. But we do know that across Europe, as I'm sure you very well know, air conditioning is not nearly as prevalent as it is in North America. So high-end heat events like this can quickly become fatal events, and that's what we're worried about with this episode as well.
Just very quickly, Matthew, this is going to be worse for the rest of the summer, we expect, right?
Well, we'll certainly have more of these. I think in the next 2 or 3 days, we'll see this heat wave sort of simmer, taper down. And then after a break, into this weekend, we'll have another heat wave sweep in from the west, first over the Iberian Peninsula and Germany, and then working east into Western Asia and Russia as well.
Matthew Cappucci, really great to have you on DW. Thank you so much for joining us.
A pleasure.